Cramming for the exam next week is like getting framed at McDonald's for murdering a CEO. It's actually a lot easier than it seems. Remember how school was when you were younger? You were stressed about Connect 4, being the fastest on the playground, or not forgetting how to multiply. But nowadays, you start to worry deep down if you're actually falling behind everyone else. School, work, sports, people seem to always have it all together. There must be a rulebook to learn any human skill faster than normal, because it would probably sell a lot of copies. I mean, no one likes the feeling of cramming for the biggest exam of your life. It's like watching a horror movie where you know things end badly for everyone. Usually all you could do is hope the sequel has a better outcome, but this time there's a secret ending. This is my face behind the screen right now. I'm only laughing so hard because I know you won't fail or get less than a 90 on your next test. You physically can't fail once you finish this video.
Oh, really?
Because this is tonight's guide to learning any skill 3 times faster than before. First of all, if you aren't at the top of your class, you can ask others on how they do it. The internet has clear answers for most of your important questions, but when you ask how to learn faster, you get the generic advice of working hard or using tools that you already know. You don't even need half a flashcard to remember the technique to learning any skill fast. It's called the 3-2-1 technique. It covers all the basics that people ahead of you know you can never skip. That's why it's so simple. Unlike other methods, it makes you better at multiple things at once. You don't have to isolate one skill. Which is great because commitment is scary anyways. This technique is for people with bad luck. That was too fast to read? Well, I guess you are unlucky. But being unlucky is exactly what you need for this technique.
Oh, really?
To explain why, we have a special guest, Steve Irwin, a zookeeper from Australia. Now, how would a zookeeper help you make the varsity team or ace all your finals? His literal job is to learn life skills fast. Like getting out of bed if you see an alligator fast, or surviving the 100 men versus 1 gorilla challenge really fast. Now, Steve mastered the one thing that every student needs, the skill of learning on the fly. Even though you're not wrestling with alligators, you're wrestling with something even worse, your parents' expectations. Luckily, the method for acquiring new knowledge is not only the simplest, it's also the most easy.
That was easy.
But just like how there's a hierarchy to the animal kingdom, there's a hierarchy to the top learning advice. They're the ones that unlock your potential. It's what the normal people do to make Harvard without being, rich.
What is your first wish?
I wish I was rich.
Your wish is granted.
The technique is to wake up before sunrise, wear the tannest pants in history, be able to vibe with massive sea lions. Okay, just kidding. It's almost as simple. The 1 stands for the one focus all your energy and time should be for. When you have at least 30 minutes to work, you need to start with the scariest shit on your mind. It's probably the thing that you're making excuses for or avoiding somehow. It's like moving a big rock. It's hard to start, but then momentum kicks in. Push the easy work to the end. It gives you a perfect routine because there's no false confidence in doing easy work. Remember, most of your energy goes to the first thing you attempt, so choose wisely. Write down everything that needs your attention for the week. Like, actually write it down. Arrange everything in order based on how much each task scares you. Like that pre-algebra studying you've been putting off, right at the top. Your unconscious brain is scared of all the work it's going to take, but it's only going to be more if you don't start. Now, Steve knows no matter how lazy or determined you are, you have to work on the scariest thing first. Imagine you're fighting for your life against 3 alligators and 20 cats. You should be dealing with the alligators first every single time, and this is no different for everyday work. You can try all the fancy methods online, but you can't mess up this order. Now, translate this to all the skills you're working on. Like, no one wants to be a one-trick pony. You're finally getting ahead of your peers and learning as quick as you thought you could. Steve even might think your life is too easy. Congrats, you're 1/3 through the whole method, and consistently getting through all your work is like a game of hopscotch now. If you ever touched concrete before, you know hopscotch is fun and easy. The second level for the 3-2-1 method is tracking your progress every 2 days. Okay, let me explain why. Oh, sorry, I was waiting for 2 days to pass. You see, work ethic isn't the most important thing, it's how often you readjust your goals. Treating every day like a strict deadline is like asking your favorite stick figure animation YouTuber to post more often. It's just not gonna help at all. The problem for setting a to-do list every day is that there's no room for error. And when the day comes around, and it will, and nothing seems to go your way, you're either gonna cling to your unrealistic checklist or drop it entirely for a long time. Think about your self-improvement as a bike race that resets every year. You can see here, there will be uphill and downhill sections. The average advice says to ignore them and pedal hard all the time. Do I look like David Goggins to you? The 3-2-1 method is the equivalent of applying bike gears. Going uphill is when life is tougher, so lower your gear setting. This means that if you're going through a rough patch, make your daily goals slightly easier. You're working just as hard, but you're giving yourself room to breathe. Going downhill here is when you're flying your life with momentum. You don't hate school, and your friends actually have time to be with you. Now, make your gear higher. You decide to practice 2 hours of SAT instead of just 1. The point is that no matter if you're going uphill or downhill, you could be strict on hitting your checkpoints. And for the times when life feels flat, like over here, still make your goals ambitious. Despite what your teachers or parents may say, you're not lazy. You're just not making your goals precise. You can only limit unproductivity. You can't stop it. No other YouTube channel will tell you this truth. There might be a good reason for that. Instead, treat your time as periods of 48-hour blocks. This way, if you have a terrible day 1, you know that night what areas you have to go all in for on day 2. This system forces you to work harder than you ever have before. Okay, rehydrate. There's a little bit more to the method. In order to accelerate your skills, when you plan a to-do list for your next 48 hours, you have to write it all down. After all, a goal that isn't on paper is just a dream. You'll have to get some paper ready, but that's better than waiting for a dream to come true. Wow, last step of the method. Never ever multitask when you're in focus mode. There has to be one thing you're putting 100% attention in if you want 100% of the results. Let's go back to the scenario where you're studying for that math exam that you really don't want to worry about. Wait, that new pop or indie song came out? Well, why not listen to it while you study at the same time? Pause it. If you're going through the algebra homework, don't be going through your favorite music album. Steve saved this step for last because your brain isn't loyal. Now, what the heck does that mean? Wait, no. This is the Rizzler. You're more like him than you think. Your brain isn't loyal to putting the most effort towards what's important. You're doing yourself a disservice by working on multiple things at once instead of treating it one by one. If you made it this far, you won't just be a quick learner, but one of the best that people will ever come across. This method seems so obvious, which is why people stop applying it only after a couple of days. Almost like how it's so obvious you're not subscribed. Okay, that was really bad. But if you could donate or subscribe, it would help a lot. Because it's getting kind of lonely in here.